for those of you that I do know, then y'all know that Susan and I are longtime friends. For those of you that I don't know, Susan and I have been friends for at least 18 years because that's how long I've been at USAA. So that's where I met you first. And then we've had a lot of adventures since then, worked on a lot of things to include many projects, including TEDx. And you've been very supportive through this journey for me. And so today, you know, Susan's been after me for a while to come on and tell my story. And what I'm going to do today is, for those that know me, I am going to tell you my story. I'm going to share with you a little bit about exactly what I'm doing. I will share some numbers that I think are fairly, you know, okay for me to share. Not that here's the thing that I will tell you about Amazon sellers. When you meet Amazon sellers that are in this game, nobody tells you what their product is because nobody wants to be copied. So in these groups that I chat with and I'm part of, it's very typical for people to talk about their stuff, but never represent what their actual product is. It's really strange. And you might have a better sense of that why after I share this. So selling on Amazon, the big wide world. All right, so this is my experience. Why should you even think about selling on Amazon? And what, you know, how big is Amazon? I think I heard today it's over a $1 trillion market cap, 5 million marketplace sellers on Amazon. So for those of you that don't know, more than half of everything that sells on Amazon is sold by guys like me. So small sellers that come into the game and somehow supply a product that Amazon stocks and shelves and sends out. And 1.7 million sellers have products on Amazon. I'm going to talk to you some of the different styles that people use or different products, ways they sell, but 1.7. I'm part of that 1.7. I would tell you that I think of that 1.7 million, I believe the number is under 15,000 of sellers that sell more than 100,000 a year. And I think actually the number is closer to 10,000. So 1.7 million sellers, but only about 10,000 sell more than $100,000 a year, okay? So that's kind of the size of the opportunity. This has been my journey on Amazon. And so I'll go a little over the days, but let me move this out of the way. So I'll go a little bit more over like my exact journey, but look, back in May of 2018, I decided, hey, I should open an Amazon store. Literally almost 2 in the morning web surfing type of decision, all right? I was thinking about it and then I jumped. And then I got into it, so much to learn about every aspect. I got really confident, like I got this, like I'm learning and I'm getting it. And then not only my friends, but my spouse and parts of my family and kind of everyone around me, like, oh, that's interesting. You're selling on Amazon. I mean, most people don't even know how to start the conversation. Of the people, the friends that I've made that do sell on Amazon, we launch right into a general conversation about certain things. Other people that don't sell on Amazon, it's a whole new world. So then I got into it and it's like, I don't know if anybody really thinks this is a good idea. This is all about confidence. I think this could work. Crap, this is never gonna work. And then, all right, I've got it, I'm going. I launched a product in late May of 2018. Oh no, Amazon suspended my account. That is totally true. Within 2 weeks, and I was on vacation in Italy after I launched, and Amazon suspended my account within 2 weeks of launching. And then I'm back. This is great. I got some sales going, kind of. I don't know what I'm doing. No sales. Now I suck. And now persistence wins. So it's been up and down journey. It has definitely not been like a slam dunk. It has been a ton of lessons. And today I'm gonna weave in like a little bit of what you need to know, plus what my journey was. So there's 3 types of sellers. There's arbitrage sellers, which are people that go to Walmart and hit the clearance shelves and then take the products they have at Walmart and they send those into Amazon. So that's kind of like an eBay seller. So they'll take products like, for example, right now, softball bats are really easy to pick up. And this is a really typical type of arbitrage items. Softball bats, if you go to Walmart, you can send those in to Amazon and sell softball bats. You can get them for a few bucks at Walmart and sell them for like 30, 40 bucks on Amazon. Wholesale, so that's going to the next level of arbitrage, which is I'm going to actually make a relationship with a wholesale company and become a distributor, just as if I had a retail store, and I'm going to sell their stuff on Amazon. That's hard to do. A lot of people try and get into that business. It's hard to find it's not impossible, but it's hard to find wholesalers, and you're really just reselling retail at that point. So the margins are really thin usually, but it's very doable. It's very doable. And then there's private label. Like, I'm going to make all of this up from the beginning. I'm going to do something that nobody else is doing. I have to produce all the brand, the marketing, everything. The other two, all you have to do is put it on there. The listing is already there. All you have to do is ride is whatever is on there. In the private label world, it's all from the ground up. So one of the reasons why I got into private label is because I am an e-commerce marketer, and I found myself not really practicing as much as I wanted to. And I said, at the very least, I'm going to put myself to a marketing challenge, and I'm going to have to become a tactical e-commerce marketer and all the things involved with that. So the first thing you have to do is find a product. And I talk to people all the time, and people come to me and say, I've got a product. And there's usually, when that people approach me like that, the product they're thinking is very unique. And maybe it's something they've invented, or maybe it's something very unique. Here's the thing. Generally, that doesn't work. Because the way that Amazon works is just the way the web works. It's all about keywords. So in other words, if you've invented a new product, so I've invented a Bluetooth a Bluetooth silicone spatula, okay, that plays music while, that's not even a good one, but inventing a product no one is looking for, Amazon is not a good place to put it because nobody's looking for it. So therefore, they're not going to be looking for your product. If keyword is available, then yes, that's a good thing to be looking for. So really hot items right now are like my studio light, the ring light that people buy, make themselves look good as bloggers. What looks real good right now is kitchen items, because everybody's cooking at home. Camping items, my stuff is taken off. Keywords around things, and there are tools where you can research the keywords that are popular on Amazon. You got a brand concept idea where you are totally coming in, say you're launching a brand new brand, and you're in an area where something is already selling, like say hand sanitizer brand, and I'm going to launch a hand sanitizer brand. Well, that's a little bit different. There's hunt and peck. So a lot of sellers will come in and just say, I don't know, I'm just going to hunt around and look for keywords that are hot. And I'm not going to have a store that has anything. I'm going to sell Frisbees and pillows and hand sanitizer and cell phone cases. That is kind of, people get into that because they're chasing keywords, but they don't have a brand to speak of because none of those things are tied together. And then there's rabbit hole things where you have a brand that you like, probably, that you follow. I'll just pick one that's kind of unique, Yeti, for example. You could follow Yeti down and see what Yeti's selling that's very popular and try to mimic that in some way. Not copy their product, not use their patent, but go, oh, okay, so people are doing this type of thing. I'm gonna sell something similar to that. So those are 3 ways to find a product. Finding a product is a whole nother hour long at least, but the keyword search is key to finding a product. So whatever you do find has to have a lot of keyword searches, because if not, you're not going to sell it. So how does that work? So silicone spatula. Okay, this is a real common one. A lot of teachers and gurus will kind of use this example. By the way, if you have any questions about gurus, and if you're like me, because I have some interest in this world, every Facebook ad is someone trying to sell me an Amazon course. Please run any of that by me. Feel free. I'll tell you about all the courses. I have an opinion about most of them. But keyword search, okay? So silicone spatula is a very popular keyword on Amazon. Now, there's two ways you can really drive traffic to your listing. Either you build an organic listing that gets high ranking in those search terms organically, and most of you have some appreciation for SEO with Google. So think of it the same way, like, oh, I got to build a website that gets recognized by Google, and then I get pushed to the top of Google search. Same way for Amazon. I got to build a product listing that gets pushed to the top of when someone searches for silicone spatula that I don't have to pay. That is Amazon organic keyword search. Amazon PPC. So just like Google, Amazon has their own PPC work, and it makes bazillions of dollars. So any brand can pay for an ad to be at the top of a search term. So I can source a silicone spatula, and I can go by the term silicone spatula, and I can put my product at the top of search and pay per click for silicone spatula. That's Amazon PPC. Then there's external traffic to your listing. Google PPC, which I do for my listing, so Google paid traffic, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram. You can do that organically, or you can do it through, paid. Lots of people pay for listings on those platforms that drive to a listing. And then, and just so you know, I use all of these, and the most effective external one for me is Pinterest, by far, without question, by far. Facebook's pretty good for like a quick hit, but Pinterest by far draws the most long-term attention, paid or organic. Email, so this is my deficiency right now. I should have an email list so I can go out to people and talk to them about my product, drive them back to my Amazon store or whatever Shopify store I set up. This again is something I don't do, I need to do more of. Yeah, Pinterest is super popular for me. Like camping stuff, Pinterest by far drives the most traffic. So let's talk about, again, what makes a good product. So I'm about to tell you my story, but again, product demand, so keywords. When you do find a keyword or a product that you like, you got to search the reviews, because if you're trying to sell something that the top sellers on the page have 10,000 reviews, whether they're good or not, whether they're legit or not, doesn't matter. When is the last time you ever bought anything on Amazon where someone had 2 reviews and someone had 5,000 reviews? You always buy from the person that has 5,000 reviews. So reviews, you want to go into the least competition. So you want to go in somewhere with reviews. You got to differentiate your product. So if I have a silicone spatula, does it have Bluetooth? Does my silicone spatula have, does it have, I don't know, pretty pictures on it? Is it American made? What is it that differentiates your product? Because literally every product, most products you see on Amazon, you can go straight to Alibaba and buy that exact product for the most part. You're just buying more from Alibaba often. Compliance, so this is really, really big deal, and most people overlook it. Compliance on fabrics are a pain. So your tags, so think of any fabric thing that you buy, and it's got to have certain tagging. It's got to have certain labels on it. It's got to have certain fire resistance, any of that. So that's all compliance. And then you got to deal with the FDA. And then California, just a major pain in the ass about everything, honestly. They have all their own rules. They have all their own setup. They do everything themselves. And you got to put like a special California warning, Prop 65 on everything, because everything causes cancer. And so you got to deal with stuff like that. So you're sourcing the product, you're the manufacturer. Generally is how that works. Yeah. And then you also got to check patent and trademarks. So you don't want to step on people's trademarks. You know, I know a lot of people hear a lot of bit about this, about Amazon. Amazon is pretty good about shutting stuff down in my experience, but you know, there's a lot of rogue activity out there with that, but that could be another hour as well. So how did this work out for me? So again, I'm, you know, sitting 2 in the morning back in 2018, thinking I need to have a side gig. I need to do something that inspires me. I need to do something that really challenges me. And so being very honest here, I bought a course. So I paid $4.5 grand for a course. And I got it under a recommendation. So it was a little bit of money. And then I went through that course. It was an 8 by 8 weeks, step-by-step course. So everything I know generally is based on that course. I've learned a lot more since then, but it also has brought me into this community that you can get into. I bought the Amazing Selling Machine, but there's many courses out there. I'd be happy to talk to you about any course you're considering or what that looks like. I would pay for it again. I know it's a lot. It's probably one of the more expensive courses. I would do it again. That's my current understanding. And then late 2018, I come up with a product. Some of you on this kind of know about it, but so I have sleep apnea. So I kind of know about some of the products around sleep apnea. And so I bought what's called a snore strap. So if you have a mask and you wear your mask, your jaw comes open and they have these straps, right? So I learned a lot of lessons there. They were very light. So they're made of neoprene. I can buy them for like $1.50 a piece. I was selling them for about 14 or 15 bucks a piece. So I'm making a little money on them. You know, there's just a lot of, risk in dealing with anything that you ingest or could be considered a medical device. So that's another danger, right? I ran into a little brush of danger, and so I ran away with my hands up, said never again. But it shocks me how many people sell all these ingestibles, you know, and this is really hot right now. People make a lot of money by selling supplements, and they basically just contract with labs that make them here in the US. But man, that just seems super risky to me to be selling something that someone else is making and someone else is ingesting. So, but people make a lot of money, 7-8 figures easy, all the time. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go something a little more interest. Now, there is my logo, and you're seeing my company, Boundary Life. So my company is Boundary Life. Why Boundary Life? Well, it kind of got out of control, to be quite honest with you, because I had to come up with a LLC. And so I just invented Boundary Life as an LLC because it was unique and nobody else had it. I do a trip every year to Minnesota to the Boundary Waters. And this trip is really transformational. It's changed my life. I love it. I do it with my best friends. And so I just was kind of thinking at the time, like, boundary, I want to live the boundary life in the way that I want to be able to make this a priority in my life, spending time with my friends, being outside, doing camping stuff, doing outdoor stuff, doing anything. And so that boundary life really represented that for me. Now, I just kind of got carried away, to be honest with you, and I kind of built out that plan. So Boundary Life is my brand. I could branch out in the future, but it's resonated really well, and I love my logo. So what does Boundary Life sell? Well, we sold those snore straps, but we don't sell those anymore. We came up with our first product. My first product is right here. It is this. It is, there you go. So it is a pillow, and this is an air pillow. So you kind of blow it up right there. And it balls up to about this big. And so on these trips, we often use things like hammocks and pillows and tents and cooking gear. And so that's where I got this idea, and I was able to source these from China. So again, you know, I mean, you can go on Alibaba and look up pillows like this right now. They're about $3.50. I've done a couple of things to mine to make it a little bit more unique, but about $3.50, and then you got to fly them here, and then you got to buy so many of them. So I sell these for generally about $12.99. So they're not really good margins, but again, it's kind of a great step into that first product in the camping space. Mid-2019, I went to my chair. So if you go to my store, you'll see my chair. How do you source things from China? I'm going to answer that. Alibaba. That's it. And the course I took specifically walked me through the ins and outs of how to source things from places like Alibaba. So it told me what to look for, it told me how to talk to people, it told me how to send, like it gave me email templates, it gave me all that. So then I launched a third product, a large camping product. This is my chair. If you go to my website, you'll see my chair. And this is my chair right here. Fits in this bag right here. And this is a camping chair, weighs 2.5 pounds. You can put it in your backpack. And if you've ever been camping and want to sit by a fire and all that's around is a bunch of dirt, you understand and appreciate this. So that's my third product. And then my fourth product is actually an accessory to the chair that's a mat that keeps that chair from sinking into the ground, just makes it a little more secure. That's sold really well. So that is my current product lineup, working on a couple of things, which I'm going to tell you about. So, hey, this is great. Like, I'm doing well. I'm learning a lot. Just start, like, how many bank accounts do I need to open? And how do I, probably going to need to be careful because the FBI is going to think I'm stealing money from people. I'm going to be making so much money. All my friends and family are going to be freaked out because I'm going to be a millionaire. And they're going to want to know how I did that. So this is how that worked out for me. 2018, I lost money. 2019, I lost money. 2020, starting to look pretty good. So the thing about sourcing products and selling products is the sourcing part. So for example, say I have something that I have to pay $10 for, and I'm selling it for, say, $40. Well, I still have to buy the thing for $10, and I got to buy a lot of them because I got to stock it, right? So I'm still stocking up. So it is a very cost-intensive process, and at some point you got to have money to buy product. So if you look here in 2019, my cost of goods, I spent $22,000 on stuff to sell. Now, I didn't sell it all that year. Actually, that has gotten me well into this year. And I haven't bought much this year, but I'm going to have to make a big buy here pretty soon. So I still have G&A expenses. So what's your G&A expenses? Well, I'm running a business. So I do have things that I buy, like computers and stuff like that, which kind of helps a little bit on taxes. But also advertising. So I probably spend about, I'm not spending as much these days, maybe a couple $100 a month on marketing and advertising on these platforms. Amazon takes a third. Why does Amazon take so much? Well, literally, all I do is I take this stuff and I just send it to an Amazon warehouse. So they keep it in their warehouse. When someone buys it, they do that transaction, they take it off the shelf, they put it in a box, and they send it to you. So I don't have to do anything. So this is very part-time for me. Frankly, I never really work on this during the day, but this is kind of a unique exception. But sometimes I might kind of see how sales are in the day, but I really don't, I don't pay attention to it during the day at all. I got a lot of work to do in my day job, and it's not something I do. So Amazon, that 1/3 makes it very hands-off, and they handle customer experience. So if someone wants to return something, Amazon deals with that. I don't deal with that. So they'll send it back to the warehouse, and if it's messed up, Amazon will send it back to me. If it's not messed up, they might put it back on the shelf. G&A expenses also, insurance. So I do have business insurance that costs quite a bit. So that's the type of thing in your G&A. Oh, and training. So I've done a couple of conferences, so that's been fun. I get to do that. But what does that look like? Like, where's the profit? Like, why are you doing this, Darren? So here's the deal. So let's say I have a product right now, for example, which is real. I have a product right now I sell for $66. That's 2 chairs. Well, those 2 chairs cost me $31. Okay, that's landed in the US to get that chair, 2 chairs, generally landed into Amazon. And then I have a $16 or about actually it's a little better because the size is small. So I pay $16 in fees to Amazon to stock it, to send it, to do the experience around it, to mail it back if people want to return it. And then I just kind of put this in there to give you an idea. So let's say I sell 1,000 of these chairs in 3 months. I'm going to spend $1,000 selling chairs, marketing, other types of shipping types. So I just apply like $1 to each bundle. So that adds another $1 of expenses. So generally, if I'm lucky, I may make a profit, $18 a bundle of chairs. So a pair of chairs gets me about 18 bucks, which is not bad ROI. That's definitely not every day in every chair, because sometimes I run a sale, so I don't make as much money. Sometimes I'm not selling, so I get charged also to store stuff in Amazon. But this is my goal right now. I want to sell $200 a day. If I sell $200 a day at a margin of 10 to 20%, which is very realistic, I make $20 to $40 a day. In a business that now that I have up and running, now that I've learned, now that I'm doing, pretty good income. It is not passive income. It is definitely not passive. My wife will totally tell you that none of this is passive. I spend late evenings on this stuff, but not as much as I used to. So let's talk about so here's why the tide has turned for me, right? Camping gear has become very popular, and I have improved my score, my ranking. So when you look for lightweight camping chair, I rank higher now than when I started this. So you're more likely to see my ad. I have 66 reviews as of today. I've got, all of that behind me. So I have a lot of momentum, and all of that came to fruition in, so this is real numbers. So you can see here, people don't buy a lot of stuff, camping stuff during the winter. And then this is COVID right here. Took a big dip going into April, coming out of March. I was planning to take off. Like this should go like that, because I was thinking spring break, because really camping starts selling during spring break. That did not work out. You can see here in June, I caught up a little bit. So I did sell about $11,000 in June. July was better, not as good as June. I did a lot of activity, like some sales and some specific advertising here in June to get things rolling. And that gave me a lot of momentum. So the last 12 months, I've sold $49,000 in stuff. I have not made $49,000, that's gross. So why on earth would I keep doing this? Well, right now, Boundary Life owns 3 trademarks. So I do have those trademarks, which are of value. I have 1 patent filed, and I know what that means. And I have a lawyer that's helped me do it, and I want to file more. But cost-wise, I filed 1 for right now. I have solid 2.5 years Amazon experience. So I do have Amazon consultants. So I have a VA that I pay offshore to do some very simple things. And I have a virtual assistant. I also have 2.5 years experience. So I pay an Amazon consultant maybe once every couple of months to meet with me, and I pay him 125 bucks an hour. And he's well worth it. There's not a lot of stuff. Often I'm just calling to confirm some things or get a little bit different perspective, but there's not a lot that he knows that I don't know. So I feel very confident in most of my abilities. I have solid 2 years social marketing experience. So I would say one of the biggest things about this is even when I'm back in my day job or anywhere, people start talking about Facebook marketing or Instagram marketing or Pinterest marketing. I'm doing it. Not only am I doing it, I'm spending my money. So I'm not spending other people's money, spending my money. And I know what works. I know what doesn't work. I know how systems work. I know how fast they're changing. It's just educated me beyond reading about it or trying to understand it from a YouTube thing that I'm spending real money. I've built a website. This is a gap for me. I need a lot of work here. Actually, I'm probably working on a Shopify site right now. And then I've made 100 or more contacts, entrepreneurs, retail shop owners. I have a retail shop carrying my gear right now up in Minnesota. E-commerce store owners. So I've met dozens and dozens of them. People on all walks, people getting started all the way to 8-figure sellers. I just met with a Kickstarter pro last week, and I am thinking about doing a Kickstarter here coming up for a new product. And I'll talk to you about that. So really, my advice is like, so a lot of the questions, and I was not, so sourcing from China, there's a lot of sensitivity around that. A lot of people have opinions, which is fair. So here's the deal when it comes to sourcing products. You can make it yourself. And I hope we get to talk to Mandy, because she's a great example of someone who makes in the US and makes it herself and uses Amazon as a platform. You could make it with a local factory or maker, right? Volume is going to be a problem there if you hit a good product. You can have it made in a US factory. Outside of that world, I have not been able to find any consistent way to communicate or find factories. I've used Makers Row and Thomasnet, which are just about useless. Most people you talk to, most factories you talk to won't even communicate with you. Like they're like, we don't do that, or I don't know. So I've probably contacted a dozen or more, and I'd like to make some of my stuff in the US, but it's too hard. So then that's why a lot of people go China or somewhere else. So Alibaba and 1688. So 1688 is the Chinese wholesale version of Alibaba. So it's very interesting. You can use Google Translate to translate on it, but 1688 is kind of an interesting website. Do I think that all this kind of turmoil with China is going to cost a lot of business? So I have a friend in India, and India pretty much has cut off most channels to China, and we are not the biggest consumer of Chinese goods. India is. And India has a new awakening because of their little scuffle with them, that they're trying to get away from China. Ours is minimal compared to what India is going through. And I can tell you this right now. I have a great supplier in China. We text all the time on WeChat. I guess I'm going to have to get a different app. And he will talk to me about anything, politics or anything, but he's become a friend, and 100% trust him. I've given him $20,000 and he's delivered for me. He's always given me good advice. So I've had good luck in China. So this is how it works. Find a product, find a supplier, open a store, apply for trademarks. And the reason why is because you want branding on Amazon. If you don't have the trademark, then you can't get branding on Amazon. I have a better status on Amazon than most people launching a store because I have a brand. Set up your listing, you send in inventory, you drive sales, whether it's on Amazon or not, or external, rinse and repeat. That's how this works. So all those people selling courses, all those people doing stuff, this is what they're going to teach you. They're good at certain parts of this, and some of them aren't. Some of them are really bad, and some of them don't sell anymore. All they do is sell courses. So like I said, I have a lot of opinions about that. So if you ever want an insider view of that, feel free to ping me. So what's next for me? Does a seller from Alibaba incorporate your branding? Yes. So this pillow I have made on a manufacturing line in China with my partner. Now, my partner is like he's a distribution partner, so he works with many factories. So the place I have this made is a different place I have my chair made, was a different place I have my snore straps made. All of those are different. But yeah, they do, that's the deal. That's mine. And it's not like an iron-on, it's part of it. And learning that whole logistics and manufacturing process. So like, if you get into my products, I got tags. So like when you go to Academy or when you go to REI or you go to any of those stores by camping gear, everything has tags on it. And you're like, yeah, just do the tag thing. No, you have to tell them, you got to build the tag. Like I built all my own tags. I developed all of it, everything, all the branding. I built everything from scratch. So I'm going to launch a new hammock, and I've come up with an idea for a hammock because I hammock camp that I've incorporated a pillowcase and a second layer. So the pillowcase actually allows the pillow, this pillow, to be inserted in the top of the hammock. And if you've ever hammocked, camped especially, everything slides down to your butt, because when you sit down, that's where all the weight is. Well, I'm building in pockets that hold things in place on the hammock and keep it from sliding around. And there doesn't appear to be anything in the market that is the design I'm doing. So that is my patent I've filed. I'm happy to share, and actually I need a lot of help around that. So if anyone wants to give me advice or help, you're welcome to learn more. But I'm very much thinking about launching a Kickstarter campaign to get this thing off the ground. There is a Crua hammock that launched a Kickstarter campaign 60 days ago, and they've raised $600,000 in pre-orders for a hammock. All I need to do is probably about $40,000 in pre-orders. But what that does is that guarantees me, like, the money I'm about to put down with a person who's going to make this, I've got sales already. So it's pre-sales is really what Kickstarter is. I'm going to look at more current products. So I'm about to run out of a lot of the things on my website. I've already run out of these pillows. Like I've gone through probably about 1,000 of these. And so I'm ordering more of these right now. And I don't know, I'm thinking maybe long-term, I might sell my company. If you go to empireflippers.com, you can buy companies like mine that have been built up all day long. Their market, their valuation is ridiculous usually. It's like 26 times or something. There's some crazy stuff there. But, you know, if I keep going right now, I'm making a couple of grand a month. So if I can kind of figure out a way to keep it going, that would be a good company, right? Consulting, teaching, agency, all these things are opened up to me because of what I do and what I've learned. So this is what I'll ask, and I'm going to let Susan know. And I know, you know, I'm not going to ask anybody to do anything they don't want to do, but if you want to help or give me advice or say, I know that guy, watch for my Kickstarter. Again, my current plan is to try to do it this fall, but that may get stretched out for my hammock. By the way, I'm thinking about calling my hammock, the product name, Above, the Above hammock. So feedback on that would be great. Everybody goes to Academy and they buy a crappy Eno hammock for $79. So I'm trying to brand that. Do you want to know more? If you do, I am happy to share with you. I'm about to take a trip to Alaska, but I can set up time when we get back. You have an idea. So I'm also a member of Alamo Angels, who I hear 3 pitches a month from companies that are coming up with new products all the time. And so I get a lot of pitches, and I get, you know, kind of now that I'm on Amazon, I get a lot of, I hear a lot of these. So I'm happy to give you feedback on your idea, or maybe even work with you, or, you know, kind of consider that. I am also always, I'm really to the point where I've done everything I've done right now is by myself. It's either me or paying a VA. And I haven't really used a VA that much, virtual assistant. I would love a partner, but if someone's going to jump in for partner status, it's like, I'm not looking, like, partner to me is not a learner. It's like someone who's going to come in with money or knows something more than I do about something. But I would be happy to do that. I need that, frankly, because I'm about tapped out on time. So I just have to be very careful about what I commit to. So how do I learn more about this? So this is something that, so how do I learn more? I saw your note, Tom. I'll call you later. But the helium-10. So helium-10 is hands down the most useful tool that you can get to do any of this. So it has a free Chrome extension. So go to Helium-10 and download the Chrome extension. And I can come back, I can even show you a little bit here today, but it gives you a lot of info about products on Amazon that you wouldn't get otherwise. I pay for a service every month for Helium-10, so it's one of those G&A expenses. So I pay about $100 and I get all sorts of stuff with that. It's a go-to tool. They also have a training tool in it that is very good. Kevin King does a training in there. So if you consider, I don't think it's quite as good as what I got, but it's pretty good. Learn with quality information. So my favorite, like, hey, I'm interested in this, send you a note. Crescent Cow is on YouTube. Simple, free. He does have a course, but he doesn't hit you over the head with it. And he explains the process that I just walked you through in a little bit more detail. Amazing Selling Machine, like I said, it's based out of Austin, by the way, the Amazing Selling Machine. And Helium 10 podcast. So if you just want to kind of like get in the groove, like try to listen to it, Helium 10 has a couple of podcasts, and I would tune in and listen. By the way, there's this tool called fakespot.com. And like I said, one of the things about getting noticed on Amazon is your reviews. Well, FakeSpot has created AI that scans companies' reviews and grades them. So they are doing that, and that's a pretty cool tool. So my favorite two recommendation tools are Helium 10 Chrome extension and FakeSpot. So follow me, email me, Facebook, Boundary Life Gear, Instagram, Boundary Life Views, Pinterest, Boundary Life Views. I am going to take questions, but while I'm doing that, I'm going to open up a browser, and I'm going to show you a real quick view of what Helium 10 does and why it's so cool. So Susan, if you want to jump us in, that's fine.
I am promoting everybody to panelists so that you can ask Darren questions and we can interact. If you want your camera on, feel free. If not, no worries. So I'm making my way up the list and promoting everybody to panelists. So we should be able to see the Brady Bunch view here in a minute. This was a fantastic sharing session, Darren. Thank you for being so transparent about it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, I love to share it. I don't get to talk about it much, actually. Most people, even if y'all followed some of that, but most people don't really. I don't run in circles where people are like, hey, tell me all about this. So I'm sharing my screen. So if you want to stay with me, here's a really cool thing to teach you about Amazon. So I'm a little tainted because I'm in my company account. So let me log out of this just so there's kind of, I'm going to sign out. And I'm going to stay in here because I'm going to have to relog back in. But anyway, so if you want to see what people search for, much like Google, when you go to Amazon and you start typing in up here, see how I'm typing in SP? I'm going to type in spatula. The top item is spray bottles. That means spray bottles is the most searched term with those two letters at the start. Let's do sprinkler. That's a good non-threatening. Okay, this is a great example. So 3 companies, let's scroll down a little bit. All this stuff starts to look the same. So these are all probably bought off Amazon. And see how that one looks, Grow Green, looks just like, this one from whatever company this is, and looks like Max Flow and Buy Plus. That's because they're all coming from the same company. People have branded them with their own stuff. So you're buying, so then I get, you're buying knockoff stuff. No, everybody's buying knockoff stuff. Like, if you think anything you buy is uniquely made in a factory all for that company, you're wrong. Now, I'm not talking about Rolex watches. I'm not talking about, but like, for sure, like Seiko watches, there are multiple brands rolling off that line, and Seiko's just having them made there and branded with Seiko, right? There's no question Seiko's making more, that factory that makes Seiko watches, or the factory that makes these sprinklers, they're making them for all these brands. So let me show you a little bit of what this looks like. So if you download this Helium 10 extension, and I'm going to do what's called Product XRay, it's going to scan everything on this page. And you can get this, like, this doesn't cost any money. This is their free extension. So it's scanning everything on this page. So what I'm doing is I'm going here and just for sake of time, I'll walk you through the most important things. These are all in lawn, patio and lawn. This is in tools and home improvement, but most of these are in patio and lawn and garden. These are paid advertisements. So that little SP there, that's a paid advertisement. And what's the most important thing is the BSR. So the BSR is where it ranks with that keyword. So sprinkler, a lower BSR is better. So this 19 BSR means that they sell a lot of that crap. So this has a 19 BSR. So let's not even look at the ad. So this product costs $21.99. The FBA fee is $12.70. And this month they sold 24,327. That's about right. It's not perfect, but it's about right. The revenue on that sprinkler right there, which I guarantee you is not unique, is $534,000. And you can just go down and you'll see like, so down here at the bottom of all this is some sucker like me who launched a sprinkle, screwed up name, trampoline sprinkler. Oh, that's kind of interesting. He has sold about 300, he sold 20 this month and he's made $339. So, Jason Wells sprinkler, that's trampler, same thing. So that guy sold, this company sold 276,000 in revenue. So he hasn't made that much money, but he's made probably about 10 to 15% take home on that. So that's probably like margins about 10 to 15, maybe 20%. He's got a ton of reviews. So I would never enter this. I would never go into this category because all these people with all these reviews, it's impossible to unseat them. I mean, I'd never get my sprinkler seen. So that's how this tool works. Again, if you can ping me, I'll kind of send it your way again. But that's how it works, and you kind of can see markets, start to understand a little bit about how big these things are. What's crazy, it really has some cool features. Like you can look and kind of see like sales revenue. So these guys back in July were selling about 880 a day. Their sales have dropped. They're on a trending drop, and now they're selling about 687 a day. Pretty cool, huh?
That is crazy.
All right. Anyway.
Okay, we only have about 5 minutes, so I wanted to get a couple of folks asked questions that you missed in the chat. One of them was Adrian, and Adrian asked, is Pinterest the most effective as a platform, or because camping stuff just seems to match it? And Adrian, you feel free to restate your own question. I butchered it.
Yeah, you know what? It works for me. Everybody has a different thing. I will say the thing about Pinterest is people go there for ideas to buy stuff. People don't go to Facebook for ideas to buy stuff. That's the best I can tell you. Not that you can't get people to buy stuff on Facebook. It's just they're not there to buy stuff. In Pinterest, you're almost in shopping mode, like you're in idea mode, right? And that's what I would relate.
And was that just organic, or do you do paid ads on?
Oh no, that's organic and paid. Organic and paid.
Awesome.
And then Mandy asked you if you had had any of your stuff be hijacked. You talked about folks getting their products hijacked.
Dang, I better not say that. No, not yet. No, I've never had a problem. But if you go out and look for my brand, there are people selling it on eBay, and that's not me. And they're selling it for far more than I sell it for. So I haven't really worked very hard to shut that down. But they sell a lot of stuff. Like there's these big things. People just consolidate products on eBay and then they resell them. And I can't imagine that I get a lot of sales off that. But I'm like, well, they're buying it from me and they're selling it to somebody else. I don't have time to run that down. That's the closest thing for me.
Any other questions I missed? Oh, here's from Josie. Can your store carry other brands' goods if they fit with your overall product theme?
Yeah, so I actually have started a little bit into the wholesale space. So I actually have clearance to sell Coleman. So I can sell Coleman camping stuff. I haven't really reached into other, and I have a distributor that I can buy Coleman stuff from. So like Coleman tents and stuff like that. I just kind of done that. I know a woman pretty well that does quite a bit of that, but that's wholesaling. So, you know, if there's another smaller brand, I would have to kind of communicate with them and say, hey, I'm going to resell your stuff. And that'd be a little weird, but like I've had people approach me, but mostly it feels like scams. So yeah, you can sell like wholesaling. I could go start selling wholesale Coleman tents. Coleman will let anybody sell their stuff, but it's really thin margins. Like I can buy it at the distributor for like $94. And sometimes it sells for cheaper on Amazon. Like sometimes they'll sell them for like $89, and then some people want to sell them for $120. So I just haven't messed with it. And then Amazon's going to take their cut of that, by the way. So I would make like $5. But I've seen people make money at that at bulk. So this, yeah, I'm just showing you another tool called AmzScout. And this one's a little different. So I can click in here and see, this tool will link you straight to Alibaba. So let's go find that. Let's go find that sprinkler on Alibaba. Close, but probably not the same. But watch this. When I look for sprinkler on Alibaba, it's going to pull up that exact product. Hey, look at that, top hit. So that more or less different color, that is $1.70 to $2. That's exactly what we were looking at over here on Amazon. More or less, a little bit different color. That's how it works. I can buy that all day long.
The name, Liliana asked, what's the name of that course that you really like, the one in Austin?
So Amazing Selling Machine. And if you're interested, I do have an associate thing where I could refer you. This is an interesting concept. A lot of people will say, you should never buy a course. And there are people that do stuff and they never buy a course. They don't know a lot of stuff. And spending that kind of money made me focus very seriously and take it very serious. My problem with a lot of the YouTube stuff is you don't know who to trust. You don't know what they covered. You know, I mean, Crescent Cow, if you really kind of want to put a toe in the water, go to Crescent Cow and start watching him. He's very good, but he doesn't even cover everything in this course. Like, for example, doing this with Alibaba. And this course teaches you exactly what to say to that manufacturer to figure out whether they're legit or not, how to do business with them, what they're worried about, all that. So again, I recommend it. I like them. If you're interested, you know, I'd be happy to refer you. Amazing Selling Machine. Yep. Once you hit them on Google, they'll start hitting you hard.
Mandy has some experience with Amazon Marketplace too, and she just chatted. Yeah. Do you do any lives? She sold a lot that way.
I have not done lives, and I've thought about it.
He does have a day job.
Yeah, I really do try to be sensitive, and I got to jump off now to go do that day job. But yeah, I got to be sensitive to that. But no, I think that's a great idea. And actually, I do have video. If you go to my listing, you can see my video. I put video out on my listing.
Mandy, do you have Amazon's any words really of wisdom for us?
No. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No. Basically, the lives I was doing, it was unique because I could actually take the camera in and show them making the reeds and like us buying in brush and decorating and stuff like that. So
yeah, and I watched a couple of yours. They were really good. I you know, obviously I'm paying attention, but I think that really helps on your product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Amazon's got a lot going like that. They're doing lives. Like they have, I have kind of Instagram type post on Amazon too that I do that I'm not even getting into, but a lot of the sponsored Amazon marketing, they call it Amazon advertising. It's huge and it's getting bigger and bigger.
Cool. Well, I guess at some point I'd like to talk to you maybe after your Alaska trip. So
I'm in.
Awesome.
Yay.
And I have a patent. My cousin is a patent lawyer. I can send you his info. He loves talking patents and helping people. So
Cool. I have a lawyer too, but I will welcome that.
That's so cool. I will just take a quick second to mention next month is September 5th, I believe, and Liz and Diana will be presenting on the topic designing large complex site navigation. So that will be the topic next month. And if you have ideas of topics that you would like to see, I did a recording of this, Liliana, and we will post it as soon as we get it edited and post it on the new Firecat site. We're working, one of the things we've been doing during COVID behind the scenes is creating a new version of the Firecat site. So that should launch in a few days, and the recording will be posted on there, and then we share it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. What am I forgetting?
So Susan too, I don't have an email list, but I'm working on that. I'm going to ask like for everybody here for any kind of feedback. And then also like when I do start my Kickstarter campaign, I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm just telling you to like maybe consider it. And if the product matches something that anyone you would know would buy, then I would ask you to just kind of participate with me, because I'm doing this all from scratch, and I'm actually pretty interested to see how that goes, but I got a lot of work to do between now and then.
That's one of the things we can all do for each other is just amplify each other's efforts.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
That's great.
Cool. All right.
Yay. Out of phone
Thanks,
pocket,
everybody.
Liana already suggested. Thank you so much, Darren. We really appreciate it. And we will see you guys next month.